What's up guys, I'm Chris Doughty, aka Doughtinator. Welcome to a video that I don't feature in. This is a premiere video. Get in the chat, comment along as we watch this race replay from Monza. This is the Race Asylum Pro-Am League. In this race we have a really broad split of driving skills as we get onto the grid now. On pole, Philo. Second place is Bobby. We're going to get going very shortly now. As the race unfolds, we're going to discuss more of the drivers as we go through the field. The green light is on, and away we go. It looks like Philo slightly slow off the start there. Bobby with an absolute rocket off the line. Gecko Racer to the inside. We're going to go into turn one, Monza turn one. Absolute chaos normally. What is going to happen? We've got a little bit of bumping in the middle of the pack. Philo gets a bit beat up there, but he's got away with it. And it looks like we're all safely through turn one. That is absolutely fantastic stuff from these drivers. As I said before, it's a mixed ability field, and in the lead we have Bobby. Gecko Racer right on his heels in second place. Into the second chicane, often carnage on lap one. Bobby through safely, Gecko through safely, Baz in third. Scrolling back down the order, everyone seems to be filing through safely. Ant Smasher with a bit of a tank slapper. It looks like Lucky Bucky's had a huge impact there into Ant Smasher, who was just having his own accident. Lucky Bucky with damage, heavy damage is enabled for this race, as Kevman just looks to the inside. Gorilla Gaz in 10th position. So yeah, Lucky Bucky's picked up some heavy damage there. He'll have to pit to get that fixed. Underneath the Brembo Bridge now, going into Iscari chicane for the first time for these drivers. Sean looking good there in his Aston Martin, running in 6th position, down the straight into Parabolica for the first time. Philo down in 5th place off the line. Oscar's picked himself up a penalty, probably track limits at Ascari, and he's going to be right on the back door of Baz. I think I noticed some smoke come from Baz's car into Parabolica. Let's keep an eye out for that in the future. Baz in his NSX. Gecko Racer is in the Porsche. Bobby is in the Corvette. Across the stripe for the first time. Bobby takes it over the line for the first time. He's in the lead. Gecko Racer in second. Just scrolling back down through the order now. Grandpa Goes Gaming 13th. Here we go. 15th place. Lucky Bucky into the pits. He's going to have to pit, get that heavy damage fixed, and look to mount a charge towards the end of the race. This is an endurance race, 50 minutes long. 2 choices of tyre are required. All the racing tyres are available to these drivers, so check out in the black stripe below. That's going to give you an indication of what tyres people are on, if anyone has picked up any damage. As there's a mistake there, I just saw someone fire off. We're right on board now with Sean into the braking zone for the second chicane. He's going to get a massive tank slapper on and actually just put it into the barrier. That's going to really impact his progress in this race. It is a long race though, so he'll be able to come back from that. Riding on board with Oscar now, running in 4th position. Baz running in 3rd. Philo now moving up to 3rd position. The pole sitter, we know he's got pace in that car. Can he recover from that bad start off the line? And he's looking to get some solid laps in and make his way back to the front of the pack, as purple doesn't really count for lap 2. No one's really set a representative lap time through Ascari, and Baz is starting to close in, or maybe trying to get in the slipstream and be dragged along by Philo there. Looks like Baz is on super soft tyres, so that might play to his advantage at the start of this race. Let's keep an eye on people's tyres as we switch through the orders now. Baz a little bit wide. Looks like he's kept it in check, and he's going down the main straight for the second time now. Tuning is also enabled for this race. BOP is turned on to balance the cars, but setup specific tuning is enabled, so people can make the most of their cars. Monza is normally a top speed track, as Baz just a little lock up on the brakes there into the first chicane. 8th place we've got Mumu in that Porsche. Absolutely rapid driver is Mumu. Unsure as to why he's in 8th position. Normally top 50 easily for the daily races, so we'll see how he'll progress through the race. Lucky Bucky there, 15th position. He's had his pit stop to recover, well, fix the damage, and he's going to start to mount a charge. It looks like Sean into the pits as well on the news feed. Perhaps he picked up damage from that crash. And also just noticed a penalty there for Bobby in the lead, probably track limits penalty. Very easy to get track limits at Monza. Oscar also with the track limits. Ian Evo running in 6th position. They hit Melty 7th position in that fantastic looking Mercedes. Mew Mew running wide again, picked himself up some penalties in that Porsche. Kevman running in 10th position in the Porsche again. It'd be interesting to see what setups people have gone with. Grandpa Goes Gaming in the McLaren. Gorilla Gaz in that fantastic looking Corvette. Running in 12th position right now. As I just caught Melty has made a mistake. Let's just skip back and watch what happened there, get a replay on that. Looks like way too deep into Ascari in the gravel, and he's just got a bit of a tank slapper on there, and he's just parked it in the gravel. He's managed to get that car going again, and he's going to rejoin in 10th position. That was a pretty bizarre incident. Let's figure out what actually happened. We're going to ride on board with Melty on the very late on the brakes there. The brake lights came on way after the actual break point there, so I think that's just a misjudgment there from Melty. It looks like, yeah, that he should have been braking maybe 20 meters earlier than that. So he dropped in from 7th. He's going to rejoin in 10th position, but it's a long race. As we're all involved here, get in the chat, let me know what you think of the race so far. This is a live airing of this broadcast, and Gecko Racer now. Looks like Philo's put a move on Gecko Racer to take 2nd place. Gecko Racer is in the slipstream down the main straight though. Gecko Racer on the soft tyres. I think Philo is on the super soft tyres. So we've got a tyre mismatch here. We're going to go side by side into turn 1. Big braking zone. On the brakes. And it looks like Philo just lets the car run a little bit longer. And still manages to get that car stopped on the brakes. Making absolute fantastic use of those super soft tyres on that Aston Martin. And he's going to look to close down Bobby for the lead in this race. Tyre wear and fuel is enabled, so drivers will need to make pit stops for fuel and tyres. As we've got Baz running in 4th, Oscar in 5th, 6th place Ian Evo, 7th place Mew Mew, and we're going to scroll down the back. Ant Smasher running in 8th, solid drive so far. Kevman in 9th, they hate Melty down to 10th position. Grandpa Goes Gaming 11th. And we've got RA Gorilla Gaz in 12th position. Looks like picked up some track limit penalties there. They'll burn off as the race goes on. Mackie RS in 13th position. Looking to put some solid lap times in and get his race pace as good as it can be. Lucky Bucky and Sean both with early pit stops. They're going to be fighting back through the field. Back to the head of the field now. Bobby is just stretching his lead out maybe. Running some solid lap times. That's exactly what he needs to do. Soft tyres for Philo. Super soft tyres for Philo. Gecko Racer on the soft tyres, so he's probably giving away some speed at the start of this race. Baz is running in that NSX. Another lock-up into Parabolica. Now, take a close look at Baz's car. It looks really, really low. That is running lower than a snake's belly. With setup tuning being enabled, I think Baz has slammed that car to the floor to get the most top speed possible. So it'd be interesting. Those little lockups we keep seeing from Baz's cars. Another one there into the first corner. I'm not sure if that's costing him time or not, but certainly the wheels are locking a little bit as he's on the brakes into the big braking zones. So it looks like Oscar and Baz going to battle. Oscar is in the slipstream. I think Baz has tuned the NSX to get a bit more top speed out of it, because normally in the standard form it's a little bit short on top speed. The brakes are glowing there for both drivers into the second chicane. Oscar is right on the back door of Baz there. Will Oscar be looking for a move into any one of these Lesmo corners? And it's looking unlikely. That NSX is a handling car, so I expect it to have a little bit of an advantage through the two Lesmos. But that car, the Aston Martin that Oscar is driving, is all about the top speed. Now, with setups being enabled, that might change a little bit, but you can't change the fact that you've got an absolutely massive engine in that Aston Martin. As he's just going to close into the back of Baz into Ascari, and will he get a run out of Ascari and into Parabolica? Looks like Baz is he going to go defensive? It looks like he's got the confidence to stay out wide and take his line. Absolutely nose to tail as they go into Parabolica, both on the brakes together. Oscar is going to just look to a little bit to the inside. Baz is hanging it around the outside, kicking up the dust as we go down the main straight for the to complete the 5th lap. And we're going to ride on board now with Oscar into the braking zone. Let's see how this one's going to play out. Is he going to go for the move? He's happy just to sit there. He's just going to back off. Small bump onto the turning point. On board with Oscar now, trying to catch that swaz on the corner exit. And Baz has got a great exit from that first chicane. That NSX seems to be dialed in the twisty stuff, which seems to be giving Baz the advantage on corner exit, which isn't really allowing Oscar to get alongside for any kind of challenge on the into the braking zone. So into the second chicane, both drivers are going to awkwardly go through that chicane. It's quite an awkward chicane anyway. The sausage curbs are very, very difficult to get over. Mew Mew with some more track limit penalties probably. Still running in 7th. Ant Smasher running in 8th. And They Hate Melty in 9th. Kevman in 10th. And they're going to keep making their way through. Gorilla Gaz in 11th. Grandpa Goes Gaming in 12th. Mackie RS running in 13th. And it looks like Lucky Bookie's starting to catch the back of the field now, as he's going to make the most of those new tyres he collected at his pit stop. Bobby still with that's a significant lead now, that is. Yeah, it's a long way ahead of Philo. I don't know if Philo's maybe just backed off to save a bit of fuel. Gecko Racer running in 3rd. Baz and Oscar still battling out for that 4th position. Ian Evo running in a solid 6th position there. Mew Mew still with track limit penalties, looking in 7th position, but it's not the Mew Mew we're used to seeing in the daily races. Mew Mew is a formidable opponent, but doesn't quite seem to have found his legs in this race. Watching They Hate Melty now, down the main straight. Kevman may get some slipstream. Let's see what's going to happen into the turn 1 here. Down the main straight, Melty is going to stay defensive. He's going to force Kevman to the outside, and they're going to go into the braking zone. Let's see what's going to happen there. They're going to go side by side. How's this one going to play out? Melty with a little bit of squeeze, but that's perfectly defended. And Kevman just not quite. Kevman's dropped it. Oh, hit that little bit of a side by side moment there. Just kind of ruined the train of thought for Kevman. Slight mistake, but he's actually gathered it up very well. It was almost a spin. He's caught it well, and he's just kept hold of that one. Hasn't lost too much time there, and They Hate Melty still holds that 9th position, skipping forwards through the field now. Ian Evo still in 6th position. Oscar versus Baz is still raging on. This battle is not going to end. Underneath the Brembo Bridge now, going into Ascari for the 7th time. Oscar is right on the back of Baz. Will he get a good exit? He's not been able to in the last few attempts. Baz's NSX there running super low. As you can see, you can't see any daylight underneath that car. He is sniffing the floor as he's going to go into Parabolica. Are we going to see any braking? No, it doesn't seem to have locked a tyre there. Maybe Baz is using weak ABS. Interestingly, I've got a video coming about weak and default ABS. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see that one. And it looks like they are going to go down the main straight now to start lap number 8. This is a 50-minute race, and we are 12 minutes through. Looking in the bottom left of your screen is the race clock, and we're going to try and find some action on the track now. Lucky Bucky up to 13th, running with some good lap times it seems now. Sean up to 14th, and he's going to go down the straight into Parabolica. Mackie RS running in 15th, still trying to tag onto the back of those two drivers that have made their pit stop already. As I said before, this is a Pro-Am series, so there is a huge spread of skill levels in here. Race Asylum, we're all about helping drivers get faster in GT Sport. If you haven't already, check out the description below for the link to the Race Asylum Discord. You can join in for these league races and also chat with your fellow racers and help yourself get faster in GT Sport. Under the bridge now, look like we're going into Ascari now, and Gecko Racer still solidly positioned there in third. It's been a good performance so far from Gecko Racer. He's running on the soft tyres, so he has a slight tyre disadvantage to the cars ahead, but he still seems to be keeping close by for his race pace there. So that's actually a solid drive so far. Bobby has got the race under control at the head of the field. Philo is recovering from that slow start. Feel free to join in with the live chat. Let me know what you think of the race so far. If you do know the race results already, no spoilers in the chat please, as we're going to go and start lap number 9 for the lead drivers. Gecko Racer, Baz in 4th, Oscar in 5th with another penalty, Ian Evo in 6th, 7th place from Mew, and Smasher running in 8th. It looks like Melty is in 9th, so he's gained a position there. And Ant Smasher to the pits. Ant Smasher is going to make a pit stop. They help Melty is going to go on and try and get an overcut on Ant Smasher. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with tyre choice for Ant Smasher and if he's going to fuel up. So he's just going to, he's definitely putting fuel in that car. So he's going to fill that tank and probably go to the end of the race. It's 15 minutes gone in the race, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. But he's now put on soft tyres, no, medium tyres. Looking in the black bar below, Ant Smasher's gone for the medium tyres. That looks like he's maybe going to go to the end of the race. Lucky Bookie is now closing in. So basically, Lucky Bookie's pit stop is now going to even out with Ant Smasher. Sean also with an extra pit stop, and Mackie RS just crossing the line, 15th position. Looking at his lap times, he's doing pretty good, solid lap times. The important thing is to just run consistent lap times, run your own pace. To the head of the field now, Bobby with some penalties, probably track limit penalties, and Philo's maybe catching. It's hard to see. I don't have the live timing for the gaps up on this race replay. I don't know if that gap's closing in or not. Let me know in the comments below. Is that gap closing in? Do you think Philo is going to catch Bobby as the race goes on? And how do you think the pit stops are going to play out now? So across the stripe for the 10th time. Baz is still holding on to that 4th position. The front of Oscar's car must be absolutely filthy. All that dirty air that's been running in for at least 10 laps now. But Oscar just can't quite get the drive out the corners to put a move onto Baz into the next corner. So Baz is on the super soft tyres. Maybe Oscar has a tyre disadvantage maybe. So looking back now at Oscar, riding on board with Baz into the braking zone for the second chicane. Oscar's just going to close in there, nicely clipping through the corners. Baz is a little bit wide it seems, and Oscar's just starting to close in. Lights blazing for Oscar, and he's looking like, oh, he's wide at the first Lesmo. Looks like he's going to survive that though, and he's going to keep under control, keeps it nicely under control on the second Lesmo. Normally when you run wide at Lesmo 1, the dirt on your tyres normally ends up with a crash at Lesmo 2, so Oscar has gathered that up well, been driving very safely there. Looking at the fuel for people now, right now Baz has got a little bit less than half a tank, similarly for Oscar I would imagine, and we're going to go down the straight into Parabolica for this braking zone. What is Oscar going to do when it comes to the Parabolica? It still just can't close in for any kind of move at the end of the straight. So Baz's corner exits have been absolutely on point and getting great drive out those corners and just keeping Oscar at bay. How much longer can this battle go on for? We are now 18 minutes into the race, and we're going to go down the main straight now. Lap time for Baz 1:48. I'm not sure what the lap times are going to be like for the low fuel runs with newer tyres. Mew Mew still running in 7th. Yeah, this isn't the Mew Mew we're used to seeing. Mew Mew absolutely dominates daily races. In fact, very recently, is yesterday, Miu Miu did an amazing flag-to-flag victory at Fuji in the Group 2 cars, beating Igor Fraga. So Melty to the pits now. Let's see how this one's going to play out with Ant Smasher. A few laps before, Ant Smasher made a pit stop. Melty's turn to make a pit stop now, entering the pits on the super soft tyres. And he's going to exit the pits on, well, it looks like Ant Smasher's going to clear Melty by quite a way at the pit stop. Yeah, Ant Smasher's a long way past, so maybe Melty had an issue on those 2 laps going into the pits. There's still fuel in the car, super soft tyres are coming off that car, and it's going to be the soft tyres now for They Hate Melty. So he's going to exit the pits in 14th. It looks like he's lost a bit of time at some point in the last few laps. Grandpa goes gaming in that McLaren, running in 13th. Up the field now, Sean is up to 11th. Side by side, Ant Smasher, Lucky Bucky on the brakes. He's going to back out of that move. And Ant Smasher, Lucky Bucky, they're going to foul through that chicane in line. Sean is also closing into those guys. So the early pit stoppers are starting to come back into this race, starting to fight back. And we're going to see Ant Smasher is still managing just to keep ahead of Lucky Bucky, but there's definitely a battle going on here. Down the straight, heading into a Ascari chicane, will there be any room for an overtake? Bucky is right to the inside. They're going to go side by side into the braking zone, into Ascari. He puts a nice move on Ant Smasher there. Ant Smasher giving good racing room, excellent racing between both the drivers. And that's what Race Asylum is all about. We're all about learning to get faster, but learning to race smart, consistent and fair. If you are enjoying this racing and like to be in the next Race Asylum League, join the Race Asylum Discord as Ant Smasher goes for a move onto the inside of Lucky Bucky. Lucky Bucky is still going to carry it around the outside and get onto the main straight now. So it looks like Lucky Bucky to the outside of Gorilla Gaz down the main straight. It looks like Lucky Bucky and also Ant Smasher probably have tyre advantage over Gorilla Gaz right now. And it looks like Ant Smasher is going to go to the inside into turn 1. Hard on the brakes. The brakes are glowing and Ant Smasher's made that move happen. Gorilla Gaz has been sensible with that move. He knows that they're going to make a move on him. Probably got tyre advantage. With it being such a long endurance race, there's no point fighting for positions. It's all about making sure you've got the fastest race pace possible. So Ant Smasher there, Lucky Bucky, both making the move on Gorilla Gaz, and they're all looking to make the best race pace they can have. So Ant Smasher looks to be starting to threaten now. Miu Miu is running 8th, but it looked like a full tank of fuel in that car. So I think we'll miss that pit stop, but I think he's made a pit stop, changed tyres and got a fuel tank of fuel on there. Ian Evo running in 6th. Oscar is still in 5th position, slightly dropping off the back of Baz now. And we've got Gecko Racer still running in a solid 3rd position there, slightly losing touch with the leaders maybe. Bobby and Philo both out front now. Skipping forwards, 25 minutes gone in this race. So at half race distance, it looks like Baz is going to the pits. Oscar is going to follow into the pits. This is going to be a battle of the pit crew. It looks like Baz was on the super soft tyres, Oscar on the soft tyres. Are they going to make the alternate change to their tyres? And is that going to play a factor as the race goes on? I think the guys will be able to fill their tanks. Both drivers refueling. Who's going to exit the pits first? And once we exit the pits, who's going to have the tyre advantage? Let's see how this is going to play out. Baz exits the pits, Oscar exits the pits. So Baz makes it out ahead of Oscar. It looks like Oscar is on the super soft. Baz looked like he put the soft tyres on there, so that's going to make a huge change for pace maybe. Baz, a little lock up into turn 1. I think we need to have a closer look at Baz's setup there. He must be running incredibly low. So cold tyres will be a thing. Maybe they've got a bit of warmth from that first chicane, but into the second chicane, drivers are going to have to be a little bit more careful. Oscar's picked up another track limits penalty. That should burn off as the race goes on, and they're going to go into the second chicane. yeah, Baz is on those soft tyres. So these pit stops are starting to play out now. We're going to get a bit of an idea of where everyone is in the order. So Ian Evo running in 7th. Actually, Ian Evo puts a move on Mackie RS, going a lap down. Mackie RS, that is absolutely fantastic driving there. Great awareness. The AM drivers in here will start to have cars putting a lap on them, and very sensible driving. Blue flags there for Mackie RS, and he's doing absolutely the right thing to do. Quality driving there from Mackie RS. That is, it's difficult to do, knowing when you're in traffic and you've got the blue flags, to put your car in a position where you don't cost yourself too much time, but you let the leaders through, is a very difficult thing to do. So superb driving from Mackie RS. Lucky Pucky up to 9th, Sean up to 10th. So those pair are running through the field, maybe working together a little bit after their first lap incidents, and they're going to go into Parabolic. And now looks like Sean's actually catching quite a bit on Lucky Bucky. Are we going to see a pass down the main straight? Sean is in the slip. Sean's going to the pits, so yeah, his first pit stop would not have been able to make him to the end of the race. So another one in the pits. Kevman in the pits. This looks like the last round of pit stops, as we're going to see Ant Smasher down the main straight now. Lap number 16. Lucky Bucky is free. Ian Evo still running in 7th. Mew Mew in 6th. So he's made some progress there, but he's got a big penalty to get rid of, and I thought Ian Evo was going to go for a big move there. Thinks better of it, perhaps compromises himself with his line into the second chicane. Mew Mew with a 1.1 second penalty to burn off. It's a bit of he's taking out all the cones. Not ideal there. I use the cones quite a lot when I race. So for me to be doing my next lap in this race, I'd come round, there'd be no cones there for me to use, and I'd probably make a mistake. So was that a tactical takeout? And it looks like the leaders are both in the pits now. Gecko Racer is in the pits. So yeah, Bobby is still out on the track. Gecko Racer is in the pits. Philo exits the pits, and he's going to exit in first. Bobby is in second place, so it looks like there's been a significant change in the leaders there. I think that Philo was probably driving to save fuel and has not had to put as much fuel in at the pit stop. So Philo to the front of the field from an initial pole in this race, slow getaway, and then he's now managed to work his way back through the field with some fuel saving. Gecko Racer still running in 3rd position. Solid position there for Gecko Racer. And the race long battle between Oscar and Baz is still going on. That battle for 4th position. Mew Mew is up to 6th, so he's made some significant progress there, probably with fuel saving as well, maybe. So the early race pace for a lot of drivers was probably masked by fuel saving measures. Ian Evo running in 7th, trying to close down Mew Mew, as he goes purple into the first sector for Ian Evo. That's a significant speed at this stage in the race. And is he going to look to close down Mew Mew? Mew Mew's got some penalties, and side by side there could be a change of lead into the second chicane. He thinks better of it. Bobby is, I think that was a cut. So a penalty for, well, both drivers have penalties to burn. Philo and Bobby going at this. These drivers have now gone to battle all the way through the start of the race. I think it was a bit of a fuel saving, a bit of a tactical game, but now the gloves are off and they're going to battle to the finish. Baz running in 4th still. Oscar in 5th with some penalties to burn. Those super soft tyres don't quite... No, I've made a mistake. Oscar is actually on the medium tyres, so he's still got a tyre disadvantage compared to Baz. This is such a long race, and a lot of unknown really, so such a wide choice of tyres for the drivers to use is going to really throw things up in the air. So it seems like super soft and soft is the fastest tyres sets to choose. Tyre wear doesn't seem to be a problem, but Oscar's gone for the mediums. So Lucky Bucky is in 12th. He's had to make his second pit stop, I imagine. Grandpa Goes Gaming in that McLaren, running solid race in 13th position. Nicely exiting the corner there. Gorilla Gaz in that Corvette, running in 14th. Mackie RS doing an absolutely fantastic job, running round, consistent lap times, sensible driving when the blue flags are on. Absolute credit to you, Mackie RS. Really good driving. It's really good to see in that monster Race Asylum Porsche, the bright orange Race Asylum colours. Always good to see. We're going to leave Mackie RS to get some lap times done, and it's going to go side by side back to the battle for the lead. Philo has made that stick. Both of them have got rid of their penalties. Oh, Bobby's just acquired a new penalty. Again, more track limits, I think, at that second chicane. Skipping forwards now, 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the race, so this is probably going to be the last lap. Into turn 1, it looks like Philo's going to run that same move around the outside, and he's going to make that defence work on Bobby. But Bobby's going to have the slipstream into the second chicane. This is probably going to be the final lap. They're going to go side by side already, halfway around Curva Grande, and they are side by side. Philo has the inside, and will Bobby try and brake late and hang it to the outside? No, he's going to stay. Oh, a bit of bumping and barring through that chicane. Bobby's wide. Philo is across the curbing, and Philo with a 0.5 second penalty on the last lap of this race, and a little bit of swaz there. He's managed to catch that. Bobby with no penalty, so he needs to stick right onto the back of Philo as they're going to go into Ascari chicane. Looks like Ant Smasher in the background there, just tagging on to these guys for the final lap under the Brembo Bridge into Ascari chicane. Are we going to see any change of the lead? And it looks like Philo's managed to get rid of that penalty, so he's managed to scrub enough speed off to get rid of that penalty. But Bobby is going to have some slipstream. Bobby has picked up a 0.5 second penalty. That is going to throw the race wide open. Philo should have this one in the bag now. He just needs to get a safe Parabolica. Bobby to the inside at Parabolica. Block pass. He's just not quite going to make that work. He's going to run too wide, and then he's going to gather it up. So Bobby with a 0.5. Philo is going to cross the line and take the win. Bobby is going to be second. That was a fantastic finish to the race there. Both those drivers doing actually fantastic. Gecko Racer looks like he's going to be unchallenged in third position. Solid drive for Gecko Racer. Looks like he's timed the fuel perfectly, and he's using these super soft tyres to finish the race off. Solid drive for Gecko Racer, the Race Asylum Academy driver there. Looking down through the order, Baz is going to be solidly in fourth position, driving that super low NSX as he gets a lockup. Looks like Mew Mew is going to take fifth position, making good progress towards the end of the race. Mackie is side by side there. He's going to be in 14th, a lap down. So Mew Mew has made progress at the later stage of the race, but I don't think he'll be happy with that. Ian Evo is going to be promoted to 6th position. Sean has already finished and is in 7th. They Hate Melty. I'm losing track of the order now. As the race is finished. If you have enjoyed that race, let us know in the comments below, in the live chat. Let me know what you think about the race. Make sure you join the Race Asylum Discord in the description below, and we'll see you for round 2 in the next one.